Hello, my name is Philip Froderigo, and today I will be going over criminal profiling and its relation to victimology. For the history of criminal profiling, it has been utilized as early as in the 1880s, where two physicians known as George Phillips and Thomas Bond used profiling to determine what the personality of Jack the Ripper might have been. Early on, in the 1960s to 1970s, there was simple, more intuition-based profiling. This type of profiling was used because of a lack of knowledge to reference, and it was more based off of a gut feeling as to what the criminal profiler might have thought the criminal might have been like. Later on, however, in the 1976-1979 era, the FBI formed a collection of knowledge based off of interviews with known serial murderers, allowing profiling to have information to reference. This fundamentally changed the way in which criminal profiling was done and allowed for criminal profilers to better reference statistics and data to more accurately describe, predict, and determine criminals based off of their profile. The purpose of a criminal profiler is to be an active member of the criminal investigation process. This essentially means is that they operate very closely with a criminal proceeding or a criminal investigation, and any clues, data, and statistics that may be relevant to the investigation are also brought to them, which they are in turn charged with processing and evaluating said information. Their job is to detect, identify, and present trends in said data, and they rely on statistics in order to do this effectively. It is surprising in today's day and age how effective these measures are. The basis behind this criminal profiling procedure is that personality is reflected in behavior. So what this means is that if you can predict someone's behavior, you can probably predict their personality. And if you can do that, then you can form a profile based off of that person and what they might look like, how old they may be, what gender they are. And the FBI form a profile for murder using four specific phases. They have the antecedent, which they go over the fantasy or plan that the murderer may have had before they commit the crime. The method and manner of which allows them to determine what type of victims a murderer might be focusing on, who they were, and how they were murdered is also a very important factor. Their method of body disposal is also important, and if they did not decide to dispose of the body, that is also a very important factor because it could mean that said person has a rushed or unorganized behavior, which could also link them to a personality. And their post-offense behavior is also analyzed, meaning whether they return to the scene of the crime or if they try to participate in the investigation to some degree. Rape cases are also very similarly profiled, and they are aided by the fact that they have a living victim, which is able to identify behaviors of the perpetrator. This is very helpful for criminal profilers because if they are able to have first-hand witness knowledge of a behavior of a criminal, they are better able to and better equipped to determining who and what this said criminal might be. One of the many contributions that criminal profilers have provided is the eventual leading to and capturing of said criminal offender. So the Mad Bomber, George Metesky, was terrorizing New York from 1940 to 1956. He was planting bombs in phone booths, movie theaters, and other public areas. And a New York State's Assistant Commissioner of Mental Hygiene named James Russell profiled him correctly. This is one of the first effective cases of criminal profiling that had been utilized. He was able to profile him so well that he is able to predict his age. Police were able to find and capture George Metesky based off of James Russell's work. And because of that, it proved that criminal profiling was an effective means to acquire knowledge of a particular criminal based off of a database of knowledge. So criminal profiling is related to victimology in the sense that data can be collected from victims of crimes. This allows criminal profilers to expand the data that they already have and create more accurate portrayals of profiles. Potential victims can also be warned of danger. So if a particular serial killer is targeting people who wear ponytails, then the public can be warned not to wear ponytails over the course of the investigation. It can be prepare. Oh, yeah. Also, it can prepare enforcement agents to specific types of victims. So, if a particular criminal is coming into contact with a specific subset of victims, they might be able to better prepare enforcement officials for that. Thank you for joining me today, and that should be it. Thank you.